Welcome Rangers fans to our Midweek Coaches Show, our first one of the year, where we're here to talk about all things Smithson Valley. Our football team had a big win last Friday night. Volleyball, of course, won a big tournament that we hosted, and cross country and team tennis are in full swing as well. So we'll cover all that and talk about the week ahead and what's coming up in Ranger sports. And we'll start with last Friday's win against our football win against Warren. And joining us today are Coach Glenn Hill on the far side, our offensive coordinator, and Coach Craig Worstfer, our longtime defensive coordinator. And guys, let's talk about last Friday's win. Let's start, Coach Worstfer. Let's talk about our defense. And we win the game. Pretty disruptive to their quarterback.
Yes, sir. We came out and they like to throw the ball, so we felt like putting some pressure on them early would be key, and we were successful in that. Would have liked to stop the run a little better through the middle of the game, gave up a couple of explosive plays, but overall for our first game against a really quality opponent, I was happy with our performance on defense, especially the pressure on the quarterback.
You bet, particularly early in the game. Gavin Woods, Gavin's been here, started 12 games a year ago, picked right up where he left off, 4 sacks, 6 tackles for loss, but we had some other guys disrupt as well, and a couple of big interceptions.
Yes, sir. Had a couple of interceptions. Camden Egley had a big interception to kind of flipped the field on them a little bit, and then they had a drive going on us, and young sophomore kid made a great interception right there in the end zone.
Yeah, Jackson Duffy, he's pretty excited, and had a lot of guys stand out. But all in all, as you said, a potentially high-scoring, explosive team.
Yeah.
To hold those guys to 13 points was big for our defense. And then offensively, Coach Hill breaking in a new quarterback, some new O-linemen. What went well on that side of the ball?
Right, so obviously some first game jitters, as could be expected. I think our physicality kind of took over, though, late in the game. Pretty big up front. They had some talented D linemen, some good linebackers, some talented secondary guys. And, Derek Mata, our new quarterback, playing his first game, checked us into some good plays and able to establish the run game. Had 2 100-yard rushers. Malachi Lane and Travis McCracken played well and just kind of wore on them as the night went.
You mentioned Malachi Lane. Now, he hasn't been a running back by trade.
No, sir. He has not. He's getting a little bit of practice time throughout the week, and he's able to come in and add a different dynamic to the offense. Him and Travis kind of pair together really well. We've got a whole stable of good running backs, and those two just happen to be the ones that got to play a little bit Friday night.
Well, Malachi, as many of you know, is a 2-year, now going on 3-year starter at linebacker. So, yeah, I think he turned some heads coming in there, and it's a different look from Travis. And as you said, we have some other backs that'll probably get in on that as well. So, big night. But perhaps the biggest compelling reason we win is our special teams. Coach Worstfer, what went right there?
Well, we had some really good blocking, and of course, Braden Bafidis and Kyler Clark, our 2 returners, they're explosive players. And they had the opportunity to get out in some space and be that for us, both on kickoff return and punt return. We averaged 33 yards on the punt returns, which is pretty good. One of them was for a touchdown, and had a lot of guys out there doing their job, and don't get a lot of recognition for it, but there were some really fine blocks out there that allowed that to happen, and of course Braden and Kyler took advantage of those.
No doubt, and you mentioned punt returns. We had some good kickoff returns as well that created great field position. And our kickoff coverage team, Clayton Amaya, pinning those guys, the sophomore kicker, pinning those guys deep. We actually knocked the ball through the end zone once and got a safety, 2 points there. And then I thought Manny Osorio.
A couple of punts inside the 10.
You bet. Did a nice job of keeping the ball away from their returners and creating great field position for our defense. So all in all, that adds up to a season-opening win against Warren. And I guess, Coach Hill, we're not going to go 0-10.
No, sir. No, sir. We got one.
We got one. Don't know how many more we're going to get, but we're hopeful. But big win there. And, of course, we have some other things going on last week in athletics here at Smithson Valley. Coach Melissa Miller, who's our head volleyball coach, as well as our assistant athletic coordinator. She's going to come on now and recap last week in Ranger sports.
Thanks, Coach. We've got a lot of great things going on with the Rangers right now. Our cross-country team finished at the Westlake Invite last week. Our varsity girls actually took home 4th place, and varsity boys took home 8th place. Freshman Mia Perez ended up 5th place in the varsity girls division, and junior Schaefer Roberson ended up 5th place in the boys division. We did have a new senior, Josh Smith, who ended up 1st in JV. He will be moving up to varsity next week. We were just waiting on some UIL clearance after he moved from Washington. Coach Hall is really pleased with everything that our cross-country teams are doing. He's super excited. We're adding some new varsity runners this week who weren't able to run last week. So their next run is September 11th in Cedar Park. If you can make it out, I know they would appreciate it. Those kids are out there working hard every single morning. And our tennis team has been going for quite a while now. Overall, they're 6-3. They currently have a 3-0 record in district. So Coach Lalonde, when I talked to him, is just so pleased with the way everything's going. He actually had a hard time giving me some individual names because he said everybody's playing such great tennis. Some of the kids that he did want to point out that have been playing really, really great are Luke Cantu, Hannah Jordanelli, Rowan Olson, and Kyra Nuns. The next time you can find our tennis team is this Thursday as they play Bernie Champion at Champion High School. As Coach Hill said, we have been doing really well in volleyball. Overall, right now, we're 21-3. The girls are playing out of their minds. We're having so much fun. They're so competitive. They're so fun to watch in the gym. I encourage you to come catch a game if you haven't yet. We have had 3 tournaments in our preseason. We just wrapped up our tournament season. All 3 tournaments we played in the championship game. The first 2, unfortunately, didn't go our way, so we were runner-up in those 2. But this past weekend, we hosted our annual Texas Showdown tournament that we host here at Smithson Valley. It's a huge tournament, brings in 32 teams from all over the state. And this year, for the first time in a long time, we were able to actually win the championship. And we had Rebecca Williams was named the MVP of the tournament. But one of the things I'm really proud about is in all 3 tournaments, we have had different people each tournament chosen to the all-tournament team. So from our entire team so far, we've had 8 kids who have received those awards. And I think that just goes to show how skilled we are across the board, but also what a team concept this team has really embraced. The next time you can find us is actually Friday here at Smithson Valley before the football game. So we moved our times up to 5:30 for varsity so that hopefully we can have people come watch our volleyball game, and then we can all head over to watch football after that. And then our JV and freshman teams will finish up at 6:30 after varsity plays. So we look forward to seeing you guys. There's some really great things happening out here. Tennis, cross country, we wish you good luck. Hopefully we'll see you guys out there supporting them.
Thanks, Coach Miller, for that recap, and congrats to the girls. Big tournament win, as we mentioned earlier. And on to this week. We've got a home opener. We get to play at home the next 3 weeks in a row as the schedule plays out. This week we've got Madison. Coach Hill, we got quite a history with Madison.
Yes, sir. A lot of good games in the past. Expecting this one to be just like that. We get to play another quality opponent. Very talented on defense. Some real big guys up front that we're going to have to handle in the blocking and protection game. Some talented secondary guys, really talented linebackers. So, like usual, not really scheduling any powder puff non-district team. So.
Why is that?
I guess
Why is that?
head coach just likes to schedule them that way,
So doggone it. We've been getting it on with Madison since 2002. I think the first time we played them, Coach Westphal was here, was in the regional finals, and then soon after that we were in their league for a long time, and then there were several years we played them during the season, district game, and rolled around and played them in the quarterfinals. So and then have been a non-district opponent for a number of years now, and a good strong history there. And Coach Hill talked about their defense, which has been stout. They beat Clemens last week in their opener 14-5, so they held, as we know, historically talented Clemens team to just a single field goal and a safety. So clearly they're playing great defense. Coach Westphal, their offense, let's talk about what challenges it presents to the Ranger defense.
I think they've really committed to running the football this year. They're running the ball and throwing some RPOs off of that. Really successful against Clemens, holding the ball and keeping drives alive. And we'll have to gear it up, and we're going to have to try and get them out of that. And that's going to be a tall challenge, for a perennial playoff team like them that has some really fine football players. They got a good quarterback. It's his first year to start, but he ran the ball well. He made accurate throws. Several running backs playing for him. They had 3-4 guys carry the ball the other night, and all of them are good. Then they got several good receivers that they like to feature. So, you take one thing away, and they have the ability to do the other. So we'll have to play a good, solid game defensively.
Don't you hate that?
Yes, sir.
I hate that. And their quarterback's name is Mato.
Yeah.
Just like one of ours. So you won't, when you guys watching it live on the Rangers Network, it won't be a misspeak by the PA guy or the guy doing the color commentary. So one last thing, I've been getting a lot of emails this week. What's up with our uniforms?
Icy.
Well, about every 20 years we try and change something.
Yes, yeah. I guess it was 20 years ago we went to our what people call the Alabama helmet with the stripe and the number on the side. And here 20 years later, if you watch the game or knew anything about it, we were in all whites, plain white pants, and of course the jersey's still white on the road. So yeah, about every 20 years we like to do that. So you guys that aren't going to be old, maybe dead like me, look up and in 20 years, look for something different. We like to change it every 20, whether we need to or not. We may put a stripe on a sleeve or something, who knows. But I doubt it, that's right. So anyway, but back home this week, we'll be in all blues. We'll have the Ranger crowd behind the student section going. Unfortunately playing a quality team, but we look forward to playing Madison on Friday. Hope that you'll come out and be a part of the atmosphere that is Ranger Stadium. If not, as always, you can watch the game live on the Rangers Network, 7 o'clock kickoff, and tap into Rangers Network, click that link, and watch it if you can't be here in person. Thanks for being here today, and we'll see you next time.